All right, last lesson of Unit 4 before review and the test. You made it. You're almost there. So this is all about explaining strategies to add and subtract decimals. So sort of bringing it all together. I'll review a few of the strategies that we went over, show you just one more, but essentially it's just bringing it together and applying it to some word problems. So Rose is participating in a 50-kilometer bike-a-thon. She stops to eat at a rest stop after 30 2/10 kilometers. How much farther does Rose have to go? Problem we might see. Something Rose might be wondering is she's really tired at that rest stop. How much farther do I have? So let's think about how we could solve that. One tool we can use, which you're going to write on your notes, are called bar diagrams or bar models. You might have seen these in past grades. You might not have. It's just a way to visualize the problem. So if we use a bar diagram, we could say, well, this is the total right here. This is how far she has gone. So what is the missing part? How much farther does she have to go? Just drawing out a picture like that is called a bar model. Even if it's something more simple, like, okay, that's the total, this is how far, like what's left. It doesn't have to be fancy bars. But just showing like, we know part of it, there's a missing part. So what equations do the bars represent? Well, we could either say the total minus what she's done to find what's left, because if I ever know the total and I know part, I can use subtraction to find the missing part. Or I can say 30.2 plus what we don't know will equal 50. So either I can think about it as subtraction or I can think about it as addition. Either way represents the situation. Taking away what she's done or thinking about adding on what she has left. Why can we use either subtraction or addition? Well, they'll get us the same answer. So either one will work. It's good to know how that interacts. Just like if I say 10 minus 2 equals 8, well, I can say 8 plus 2 equals 10. Knowing how numbers are connected like that will help us solve problems. So, different strategies we can use. Now, on your notes, it says one last one is to blank. True confession, I don't remember what I was thinking you would write there. I think it was to line up the decimals and add or subtract like normal. And I just showed it to you a few lessons early. So that's why, because I don't actually have another one for you to use to add or subtract. We can visualize it with bar models and then use any of the strategies we've learned to actually solve it. So feel free to maybe just write like the traditional way or line up the decimals and add or subtract. So decomposing is one way we've talked about. Remember, so if I can split this into 30 2/10. So if I do 50 minus 30, then I get 20. Then 20 minus 2/10. That is a little tricky, but think about I'm going to go backwards 2/10, so I would get 19 8/10. That might be one that's hard to visualize in your mind. So then you could also do 20 minus 0.2. Put our 0 there. Can't do that, so I need to borrow. Can borrow from the 20, make it 19. 10 minus 2 is 8, and then 19. So that I sort of used a combination. I first used decomposing and doing it by place value, and then I used the more traditional way of doing it. That's fine. Whatever sort of works for you to help get you to your answer is a great strategy. Okay, we could use counting on. If I say, okay, how much more? Well, I know I need 8/10 to get to 31, and then I need 19 more from there. See, we might have visualized it differently. So 8/10, 9 more will get to 40, and then 10 will get to 50. So that is even a few more jumps. Great strategy to use. All right, so she has 19 8/10 more kilometers in her bike-a-thon. So, different strategies. We can pick the one that's most efficient or works best based on what we have. Like if it's easy numbers to count on, we might do that. If there's a lot of borrowing or regrouping, then we might want to use the more traditional way. So different ways can get us there. All right. Jack downloaded 2 games that cost $4.99 each. Find the total cost, not including tax, using 2 different strategies. We'll just do one. You can pick the one you want. I'll go through this one with you and not have you do it. First, though, I want to estimate and say, okay, $4.99 is really close to 5, right? If there's 2 games that are each $5, I know that's going to be $10. So I know my answer better be close to 10. If it's not, I probably did something wrong. Okay, if I have $4.99 and I'm adding on $4.99 more, 9 plus 9 is 18. 9 plus 9 is 18 plus 1 is 19. 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Bring down my decimal. $9.98. That is close to $10. So reasonable answer. And I just use the traditional method. Okay, that one makes the most sense with all the 9s and the carrying and regrouping. All right, let's do some more practice. I'll have you do these and choose what you think. All right, 2 and 19 hundredths plus 3 and 8 tenths. Go ahead and choose. Hope you got it. This one maybe you decomposed and I said, okay, 2 plus 3 is 5, 1/10 plus 8 tenths is 9 tenths, and then 9 hundredths. Okay, so essentially what I did was just this, but in my brain, where I did 9 plus no other hundredths is going to be 9, 1/10 plus 9 tenths is going to be, or 1/10 plus 8 tenths is 9 tenths, and then 5 wholes. 2 slightly different ways to think about it, but both will get me my correct answer. All right, 5 and 6 tenths minus 3 and 24 hundredths. Go ahead and figure it out. All right, hope you got it. Hope you remember that 0 if you use the traditional way. This one is less conducive to partial differences because if I have 0 hundredths, it's hard to take away 4 hundredths from no hundredths. You don't have a grid unless you flipped back, so that's also not quite as helpful. So perhaps you just chose the standard way as a 3 on this one. Notice I lined up my decimals. I have to put that 0 there. Because now I remember, oh, right, I'm not taking 4 away from nothing. I'm trying to take it away from 0, which I can't do. So then I need to go next door and take some from there. And then 3 and 2. Now you could have thought, okay, 60 hundredths minus 24 hundredths is 36, which maybe made sense for you to do in your head, or writing it down is a great strategy to use. So 2 and 36. Good job. All right, let's see if we can find one more good one to do. Obviously, then you're going to have ones to practice. If you get to word problems when you have to choose, okay, am I going to do adding or subtracting? Just think about combining. Addition, either taking away or comparing 2 amounts is subtracting. All right, let's end with this one. 1 and 3 tenths minus 8 tenths. Pretty straightforward, except if I just decomposed it and I thought, okay, 8 tenths minus 3 tenths, don't think 5, because remember, we're starting with the 3 tenths. So that's another reason why it can be helpful to write down so you remember which one we're starting with. Because if you just think 3 and 8, you might accidentally subtract it backwards. 3 minus 8 I can't do. 13 minus 8 is 5, and then 0. You might say, well, I got 5. Well, you might have gotten 1 and 5 tenths. And 1 and 5 tenths wouldn't make sense because I can't have a bigger number than I started with when I'm subtracting a positive number. All right. If you're stuck, if you need help, let me know. You got this.